This is how you can add text to one of your 3D designs. So you can see here I've got my Roman temple, and I want to put the letters SPQR here, which was Latin for the Senate and the people of Rome, and it'll just be a nice extra touch. So if I scroll down here, you'll see it says text, so I'm in basic shapes. I could have also just clicked under basic shapes and gone to text and numbers, and you can get individual letters, but I'm just going to use this text one. So if I click it, I'm just going to drag it and put it down on the ground there. So when I put it on the ground, it's obviously facing the wrong way, it's too big. But before I do any of that, I want to change the writing for the writing that I want. So you'll see from this pop-up here, when I click on it, you get this pop-up, and so I can just change that to the letters that I want, SPQR. I've got to click on it, delete it, that will help. Okay, so I've got that. I can change the font if I want. I can change the height when I'm down here, and I can change what's called the bevel. So the bevel actually makes it, the edge is thicker of the letter, but I'm just going to leave that for now. So what I need to do is I need to move it up here and turn it around. So to start with, I'm just going to click on it and then click this little black cone, which when I hover over it goes red. So you'll have seen this before from other designs. So I can move it up and roughly get it round about the top there. So what I need to do now is I need to rotate it. So what I'm going to do is just turn it so I can see it, and then if I click on it, you'll see that over here on the side I've got, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a little semicircle with an arrow both ways. So I'm going to click on that, and then I can turn it, and you'll see these degrees pop up. So really I want to rotate it 90 degrees, so I'm just going to click on that writing and say 90, and then that will turn it the right way. Okay, so if I move and back and look at the front, you'll see it's still too big. So there's a number of things that I can do. I can click on the corner there, and I can reduce the width. So it's 77 in mine at the moment. So if I move it down to 50, it squashes it a bit though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top and maybe reduce that to 20 and see what that looks like. And I'm just going to grab it and move it where I want it. And I can see it's still just a little bit too big. So a lot of this is kind of to do with just experimentation to get it so that you're quite happy with it. So again, I'm just going to get the height and move the height down a little bit further. So let's go for 15 now, much smaller. Oops, I've accidentally moved the roof. I'll just do my undo button there. So click on the writing, and I think what I'll do is I'll start to use the arrow keys. So I can use the arrow keys to actually move it side to side. If I move the up and down arrow keys, it starts to move it inside the shape, so it's moving it back so it disappears. So I don't really want that. So let's just zoom in a bit. I'm using my mouse wheel to move in a bit, and just click on it, and I'm just going to move it up. Oops, I'm just going to move it up by getting hold of the cone again, and just move it up a little bit, down a bit, and see if I'm happy with that. So one thing that's really important is if I turn it to the side, you'll see that the writing's quite thick and it's sticking out quite a lot. So from there, from the other side it looked okay, but from there I'm not so sure. So what I need to do is just move that back in. So I'm just using my mouse and just sliding that back in, and I'm using it there. Okay, so I can click on it and move it up and down and left and right to see if I'm happy. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks okay. I can leave it as it is. One of the other things I could do is I could make it look as if that's a hole in the shape there. So, or I could just leave it as it is. But what I'll do is if I click on it and then hold down my shift key and click on the roof, and then I can group them. But before I do that, I'm going to click on my writing and I'm going to turn it into a hole. Now I'm going to hold down shift, click the roof. So I've got the roof and the writing selected, and then if I click group, what it will do is it will cut a hole where that writing is. So I can have it as a hole so it looks like it's been carved in, or if you prefer, if I just undo all that, I can just have it so that it's an extra bit, so it's sticking out. So it's sticking out. If I do it as a hole, then it's going in and it's recessed. But those are a couple of ways that you can use text in your buildings.